What's up, boys? Welcome back. It's Matt from TDM Style here. Sorry I've been away for a bit. I took some vacation because I was just feeling real burnt out from work and stuff, and I just needed some time to literally do nothing and decompress. So I did that. Yeah, and it was definitely needed, and now I'm feeling refreshed. And so here we are, and this weekend we're finally having a look at the Grand Classic Texture Balm. Real quick before we get started though, just a couple of announcements. Number one, we are getting pretty close to hitting our donation goal for the Veterans Charity to review, roast, the combat comb-over stuff. I mean, I'm gonna review them regardless of the donation amount that we hit, but if you would like to donate to that, I will include the link for that below. And also, as some of you probably saw from the community tab and stuff, I did finally start up my new gaming channel. We're over at Kaolin King. So I'll have a link for that down below as well if you want to check that out and subscribe and, because support your boy. And if you want to see some gaming streams, I got my PS5 in the other day and it is as fucking glorious as I expected it to be. So I'm going to be streaming on that every now and then. Definitely, we're doing Demon Souls right now, so a couple playthroughs and we'll be doing some PvP and shit, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're into that, come on by. All right, and with all that, let's crack into this bitch and get started. Somebody needs a nail trim. So yeah, Grand Classic Texture Balm. Essentially, this is an oil-based clay, and for me, I'm a fan of oil-based clays. I like them. They work super well for coarse-haired folks like myself. Generally speaking, there are some that don't work so well, but the good ones do. And I'm planning to do, so I've got a couple more oil-based clay reviews coming up as well, and I was thinking about doing just like a video on them in general, because this is going to be like the winter of OB clays for me. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. But anyway, starting out with packaging and pricing on this bad boy. This comes in your standard 100 gram or 3.5 ounce aluminum tin, and we've got the stick-on labeling on there, and it's, of course, it's called Grand Classic, and it's very retro looking. We've got a classic car on the top, Grand Classic firm clay texture balm, and then on the underside you have that kind of aquamarine colored label with the ingredients and directions. And this one is from all the way down under with my terrible, awful Australian accent. I'm real sorry about that. Yeah, anyway, it's from Australia, so you can get it right on their website for $26, or they actually are carried now at the flagship pomade. Do they call it the Apothecary, or is that Lockhart's? I don't know. The flagship pomade store where they sell other brands and shit, they have a couple of cents of this on there for $19 US, and that's obviously will probably be faster shipping for those of us who are here, rather than getting it shipped overseas and getting it held up in customs and all that shit. And now for everybody's favorite category, and especially my favorite for this bitch right here, that scent. So you can get this in a variety of scents. Many of them are kind of sold out right now. They only have a couple available, but the one that I went with was their coconut coffee scent, which are two things very near and dear to my heart. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of coffee, and I just also very much enjoy coconut. So it's time to nose in. Oh my god, I can smell it already. Oh, yeah, that fucks me up real good, boy. Oh my god, I want it. It smells good enough to eat. Don't eat it. But it smells like you could. Yeah, so it's very coconut forward, but then just with that backbone of warm coffee. Oh my god. Now it is pretty strongly scented. I mean, as soon as you open the lid, you just get this wonderful aroma. And as you warm it up and break it down, you're smelling it, getting it into the air, and it's amazing. And then every so often you can catch a whiff of it. It's not overpowering, so if you're wearing a cologne or whatever, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna, clash with that or anything, but you will get these nice little whiffs of it throughout the day, which is just so good. All right, now for the ingredients. So as with most OB clays, this one starts out with petrolatum at the top, which is an ingredient that I know is weirdly, I don't know. Some people are like, oh, don't use petro, it's bad. show me the science on that. I don't know why anyone would think it's bad. It's not. It actually leaves the hair feeling quite conditioned, which is one of the reasons that I really like OB clays, because as a person with a dry, coarse, wavy hair type, any extra conditioning that I can get throughout the day is just like... Anyway, so petrolatum at the top, followed closely by bentonite clay, beeswax, macadamia seed oil. We got a bit of diatomaceous earth in there for that grittiness, so it kind of counteracts so it doesn't get, too greasy with all the petro or anything. And we also have oatmeal extract and lanolin wax, and then finally fragrance. Now there's also some polysorbate 20 in there, which I don't exactly know what that does, but it does something. All right, so without further ado, let's crack a bitch open, take a look at the scoop and the breakdown, and then we'll go straight into the demo footage. All right, so taking a look inside this jar, you will see a dark gray looking clay. And yeah, scooping it out is super easy. It's definitely, it's a thick boy, but it's very easy to scoop. It's very smooth. And as you break it down into the hands, you'll notice that right away. Like, it definitely has that thickness and that waxiness to it, but it is super smooth. It's very easily warmed up and emulsified. And yeah, and that definitely translates to the application. So moving straight into the demo footage, as per usual here, we are starting out with freshly cleaned, blow-dried hair, pre-styled only with a bit of 25 spray for some conditioning and smoothing as always. And then we're just going in with slightly more than a dime-sized scoop. Now, with most OB clays, and this is no exception, less is more. You don't need a lot of this. So you'll see here, after emulsifying that in the hands for just a few seconds, it applies buttery smooth. And yeah, again, this is a reason that I personally love OB clays, because generally speaking, some outliers aside, most of them apply very easily. And you can feel the waxiness, and you can feel it setting up the hold with a little bit of the grittiness from that diatomaceous earth and the bentonite in there. But there's no tug or pull. It's a dream application, and it's very quick and easy styling. So you can see here, this is the finished look. We've got some nice volume, some great look and texture, and a nice natural matte finish. It's not too dry. The petro leaves you with a nice kind of natural shine to your hair. Yeah, it looks great. Plus you can smell that freaking coffee coconut. Ugh. Now, I mentioned less is more, and this is one of the reasons. So with that single, basically dime-sized scoop, I'm done. I'm done styling. And with this, as with most OB clays, if you layer in too much of it, then they can start to get too heavy and you'll lose the volume. It'll just weigh your hair down. They'll start to get too waxy or too oily, and then, like for me, my hair just starts to go too strandy, and it's not a cute look. So I know some people who are really into OB stuff in general, OB pomades and all that, use like a shitload, and they lay it in there, and it's just super thick. That's not for me. That doesn't work for me. When I try to do that, my hair just looks greasy and dirty and gross. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a single scooper and done. Now, in terms of the performance and endurance, now they're calling this a firm clay pomade. This is where OBs get interesting for me. So words. Well, first things first, let's take a look here at the end of the day. So you can see the style held up pretty well. I wouldn't necessarily call it a firm hold for me, but part of the reason for that is that with OB clays in general, for me, over time, while they keep the general shape of the style in, the hold is different for me than it is with like a water-based product. And what I mean by that is the OBs, I don't know if it's because of the petro or what, but it kind of allows my natural waves to come out a little bit, which I don't mind at all, because then I think it makes my hair end up looking a little bit more natural by the end of the day. You know, we've got just some natural waves going on. It's not like they went crazy curly like humidity or anything. It just kind of, it breaks down ever so slightly in like a nice way. So for me, I would call the hold like a medium to medium firm, in that it's not just going to cement your hair in place, which is not something that I care for anyway. Maybe it would if you used like a shitload of product, but as I mentioned, I'm not into that. Now, in terms of the washout, that's the other thing. This is an oil-based product, so it's not gonna wash out with just water. Like, it's just not. But I don't have a problem washing it out with a single shampoo, just any old regular shampoo, and it comes out fine. But I think that is also related to the amount of product that you use. So if you use, 2, 3, 4 scoops of this stuff, then yeah, it's gonna be harder to wash out. But for me, with a single scoop, a single shampoo, just bitch comes flying right out. That was a weird, I don't really, But yeah, overall thoughts on the Grand Classic Texture Balm. Love, love, love. The scent fucks me up. It's super smooth to apply. It is a dream to work with. Leaves my hair looking natural, and it feels nice and soft, and it like locks the conditioning in. So like I've got it in right now, and my hair like it just feels so soft and nice. Like you can feel the waxiness, but again, I only used 1 scoop, so it doesn't feel like heavy or too waxy. It's just like that nice balance between like being able to feel the hold and also leaving your hair nice and conditioned. So yeah, highly, highly, highly recommend this. If you're looking to try an OB clay, this has quickly become one of my absolute favorites. I mean, as you can see, I haven't had it that long and I've used a shitload of it. So that wraps things up for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Please do stay tuned. I got tons more stuff coming up. We've got the reform of the Fuertes clay, as well as his sea salt. We've got some stuff from Masons that I've been meaning to get to. We've got some new stuff from Orient, as well as we've got the new Earth-made concrete paste, yeah, I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff coming up. So if you haven't already, feel free to hit that sub button down below to keep up to date with everything. And as always, thank you guys so much for coming by and watching. And we'll see you at the next one. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Kalen King Gaming. Because, always be plugging. Later.